Joining us right now on the Burns and Gambo Show with Kellan Olson filling in, Gary Stokan, the CEO and president of the Peach Bowl, who joins us here on the Burns and Gambo Show. Gary, good to see you. Thanks for joining us via Airlink. How you doing today? How are things back in Atlanta?
Merry Christmas. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas. So for you guys, not knowing who the opponent ASU is going to play, I imagine, I say you're there. Are you there, or are you in Austin for the Clemson-Texas game? Or are you there right now?
Yeah, flying down tomorrow morning, and we'll present our game ball to the winning coach in the press conference to see who gets a chance to compete against the Big 12 champ, Arizona State.
How have you guys adapted to this new world order that you're living in right now with college football? How do you feel like you guys have sort of flexed your way into this?
Well, I give a lot of credit to my staff, which is the best in the business, as well as the CFP staff. It's along with the other New Year's Six Bowls. We've all spent a lot of time preparing for this playoff. We had Arizona State in last Monday. We had about 8 people in, and then Tuesday had about 30 people in from Clemson and Texas together just to go through the hotel, through the participant guide, the practice sites, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where we're going to do media days, kind of just in preparation so that when something happens, we're all prepared and ready to go.
Gary, I was only a wee little child the last time Arizona State played as big of a football game, as this one, so I can imagine the excitement you're feeling from there across the country is palpable. How have you just generated interest from Arizona State, and also how have you felt that interest from its fan base in attending this game?
Well, I know Graham Rossini and Kenny Dillingham are excited, as are we, to have a team that was moving from the Pac-12 to the Big 12, picked last in the conference, and have them win the Big 12 championship is quite a remarkable story, let alone with Leavitt, a transfer portal quarterback, and a running back from Sacramento State that makes first-team All-American. So congratulations to Arizona State. It's a great Cinderella story, and it's not over yet, obviously. The last time we had Frank Cush's number 8 Arizona State team here, it rained in the first quarter, sleeted in the second quarter, snowed in the third quarter, and iced in the fourth quarter. And I'll never forget Vince Dooley, the coach at Georgia at the time, told me his brother Bill was the head coach at North Carolina, who was Arizona State's opponent. In an old Bobby Dodd Stadium at Georgia Tech, he said, I was never so cold in my life. And matter of fact, I had to leave my brother at halftime and because I was so cold. So, and then to have the Arizona State fans, the people in the Valley said, hey, it's 80 degrees in Phoenix today. And they said, why don't we start one of these? Because Cush had a tough time getting into the bigger bowls at the time. And they knew that Arizona State was going to, be pretty good in the future. And so they started meeting with the Peach Bowl people. And between those meetings, the Fiesta Bowl was created. So a unique link to the Valley out there from the Peach Bowl. And as I told Graham and Kenny Dillingham on our press conference, we'll guarantee him 72 degrees in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Very nice.
So the fans don't have to worry about the weather.
Very nice. Gary Stokan, our guest, the CEO and president of the Peach Bowl, joining us here on the Burns and Gambo Show with Kellan Olson filling in. I want to ask you about kind of the playoffs and the Peach Bowl in a similar way that I would ask Eric Moses of the Fiesta Bowl if he were sitting here. But first, I know in a text thread that I'm in with a bunch of friends, I know there are already plans being made for some of my friends to go out there. I know there are a lot of ASU fans going out there. In general, if somebody is headed to Atlanta for the Peach Bowl to watch ASU on January 1st, what can they expect? What's waiting for them in terms of the experience in the 2 or 3 days around the bowl and leading up to the game, Gary?
Well, I feel like a travel agent. My man Eric Moses is texting me about what restaurants can I book for him? And, he's got all these friends coming. So, I would say the things to do, number one, Friday night, or I say Friday, I'm used to playing on Saturday. Tuesday night, we'll be having fan night in the aquarium, which is the world's largest aquarium. It's a great, great thing to see in Atlanta. We'll have the pep band and the Arizona State cheerleaders there. So that would be something to do Friday night or on Tuesday night.
That's okay.
on Tuesday during the day, I would go to the College Football Hall of Fame. There's only one in the country, and it's in Atlanta. It's a great immersive college football experience. It's AI related, so it's high tech. It's very interactive, and you can get both a personalized Arizona State perspective of their history in college football, as well as all of college football. So that's another must do. So I think if they came in Friday, those would be the two things I would say. And then Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern till 12, we'll have our Fan Fest, which will be in the Georgia World Congress Center with both bands, both cheerleaders, zip lines, all kind of interactive games. A lot of things to do in there. We'll probably have 35,000 people go through there and then walk about 100 yards into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we'll kick at 1:10 Eastern.
Yeah, Gary, leave me with this, and we appreciate your time today. Obviously, the world of college football has seen a lot of change over the last several years. Do you, for lack of a better way of putting it, do you like this iteration of it? Do you like this way of doing it because it is so different? It's very weird for me to think of, hey, when I go home tonight, I'm going to watch a college football playoff game from South Bend. Working in this business as long as you have, tell me how you feel about the changes that have been put upon college football now.
Boy, I can go on for about a half an hour on that one. But with respect to the playoff, I think the 12-team playoff has certainly, helped college football grow this year. We're second only to the NFL in fan avidity in this country. And because there's been 12 teams vying for those spots late into November and early December, the viewership of college football is up, as well as attendance. And so I think the 12-team playoff has been good for college football. In anything you do the first time, there's unintended consequences. And so we'll have to learn from those. And obviously it's up to the commissioners and the presidents on the management committee of the CFP to decide what iteration they want to move to in 2026, because we still this year and next year have the original 12-year contracts, where next year both us and the Fiesta will host semifinal games. And then in 26, whether they go to, 12 to 14 to 16, whether they use automatic qualifiers, whether like NCAA basketball, if you win your conference championship, you're in, but you don't necessarily get a bye.
Right.
All those things will be taken in consideration, by the conference commissioners and the CFP and the CFP management committee. And they'll come up with what they think is the best way to approach it. Humbly, we just want to stay a part of it.
Yep.
Over the next 6 years and host a great semifinal. In Atlanta, we'll host all three major CFP events in basically one calendar year. This year, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl will be the CFP quarterfinal. We'll host the national championship January 20th in Atlanta this year. And then next year, January 9th, we'll host the CFP semifinal.
Not messing around. Gary, we appreciate the time. I'm sure every ASU fan on their way to Atlanta is in store for hopefully great weather, and I'm sure a lot of fun, and privately, secretly, hopefully an ASU win. So we appreciate the time, Gary. Best of luck throwing on your big event. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's going to be a good event for all of Atlanta.
Well, thanks so much. We appreciate you having us, and hopefully we get a chance to meet you and host you while you're in Atlanta.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Gary Stokan,
Thank
CEO,
you.
President of the Peach Bowl, joining us live from Atlanta.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.